Hey guys, so it's about an hour after I filmed my previous video about honestly considering dropping out. I feel a lot better because I really cried it out and got all the emotions out of my system. I talked to my parents and I still am really just unsure about everything. And right now my next steps are to just wait to hear back from the international student office, because maybe there's still a chance that I can study at another country, or maybe I can take a gap year or leave of absence, which is exactly what I asked in the questionnaire that we were given. A lot of the details aren't finalized yet. There's still a lot of information to come, so the best thing we can do is to just collect and select. And that just means collect all your options, and when the decision deadline comes up, that is when you make a decision. But right now, just don't worry. It's so much easier for me to give advice and not take it myself, but what I'm gonna do is just to not worry, to wait it out. I'm sure your school and your university or whatever education system you're part of right now is receiving a huge influx of questions, and so it's going to take time for them to get to us, but I do believe that they will handle it well, or at least give a reasonable solution. Right now I'm just going to wait for the National Student Office, which has announced that they will be creating an extensive FAQ page with a lot of our questions and answer them as soon as possible. The deadline for the study away program option is in 9 days, so it's a very quick turnaround time. I'm really hoping the information comes faster than later, but we're gonna see how this goes. We're in this together, and I just started this vlog so we can go through this experience together. The Philippines is not the only country that did receive a local university as an option to study remotely in, so I'm reaching out to my friends in Dubai, Turkey, Thailand, anyone I know who is in the same situation as me, and we're gonna figure it out together, because if there's anything I've learned, it's that you are never alone and there's always someone going through the same thing you are. So just get together and the experience is gonna seem so much less daunting. It'll seem, more like a bonding experience. I have my fingers crossed, and most of all, I'm just gonna be praying a lot. Hey guys, here is a little update. It's 2 days after now, so Friday, and I still have not heard back from the International Student Office, so I have zero updates about my questions or any of the answers that they're supposed to give us yet. That's okay though, because I have taken this time to start making a decision myself. I've talked to my family about this, I've prayed about this. I think my two options right now are either to return to Ithaca or to continue remotely home here in the Philippines. The first option of returning to Ithaca though is an option I'm pretty sure I am not going to take, just because of the reasons I mentioned in the previous video, where I'm just worried about many things with returning to America. First thing being COVID-19 and how that pandemic is being handled. Second is just the political climate right now, being an election year. I'm scared that there is going to be more violence, that there is going to be more hate speech or crime against foreigners, people of color, and travel logistics, because I don't have a way of actually going back there right now. I have a friend who's still in Ithaca and normally takes the same flight path as me, and the flights just keep getting delayed and canceled, and my friend is still stuck in Ithaca since March because he can't go back home. And I don't want to be in that situation too, because I've talked to my family and it was a really stressful time for them because they weren't sure if their daughter could make it back home. The situation at Cornell also, I don't think it's much better. Like, yay, it's in person, and I'm really happy for those people who wished this would happen and can now have that safe space again in their lives. I'm really happy, because some of my friends were really worried that they wouldn't get that opportunity, so that's great for them. That said, I don't think that's the best situation for me. I honestly look back at how the online learning had gone for me towards April and May, then I actually was still able to continue my learning pretty smoothly, just because even at Cornell I would usually just do academic things on my own, and I didn't really rely on like study groups or group sessions to do my work. So I think in that sense I'm okay, because I can have that self-motivation myself. The only thing is, if I do choose to continue remotely, I'd have to choose classes that I can do online pretty smoothly, not the classes with an in-person component, not like any hardware classes where I need physical things. I would just have to pause that for when things actually like return to normal. But I think this is one really wrong assumption that I made in my previous video. I think I made a very wrong and potentially harmful assumption there, in that I was still anchoring my hopes to this future that would return to normal, that would allow us to gain some semblance of the college experience that we had before COVID-19, and I don't think that is a fair hope to hold on to. This online life we have could just be normal. I think I just have to adjust my expectations because I thought that, oh, you know, after 1 or 2 years, things will be back to normal and that's when I'll come back. And we don't have a guarantee of that future. We only have what we have now. I was also worried that education wouldn't be as worth it if it was online. We didn't get all of the other promises of college experience. I felt like it wouldn't be worth the cost of tuition. Obviously, I'm hoping that they will reduce tuition to reflect, you know, the changes, but from what it sounds like in the letters that I've been receiving, they're really trying to take advantage of the benefits of online learning, which I have experienced and I think are valid. So they are going to try to use that to help students, I think, go at their own pace more. They can find more innovative ways to socialize and still meet people. So I really have to take a leap of faith here and hope that I'll still be able to have that aspect of college through this online situation. But I think right now I'm really just trying to trust Cornell. And also when I did talk to my family about like, oh, I'm gonna take a gap year and, you know, take a leave of absence because, you know, I was trying to be considerate, it actually worried them more because the sacrifices they did make for me were ultimately so I could get an education, so I could graduate with a bachelor's degree at an amazing school. And I think it scared them that if I decide to take a gap year slash leave of absence, then I may not ever come back to school and even graduate, which is what, you know, the whole reason they allowed me to go abroad in the first place and get this education. Another big point of my last video was that I considered taking a break from school because I want to do more with my projects to help people, and like 100% still on board trying to do what I can to help the community. I think I also made another faulty assumption that, oh, if I have more time, then I'll be able to do twice as much for the projects if I didn't have classes. But then I really thought about it and I just don't think my productivity works like that. I think what will realistically end up happening is I'll just get complacent. I'll do the exact same that I would if I was in classes, if not less, because I would just start going on Netflix, or I would just have so much time that it would literally just feel like a coronacation, and that kind of destroys the whole point of it too. So I just thought it would be best if I did online classes because I would still be able to do everything that I want to do with these projects. I would still be able to put in the same amount of effort, and honestly maybe more, because in my life I've noticed that I need some kind of obligation, whether that's being a student or just being a household member who has, you know, responsibilities. I need something like that to anchor me because it makes me appreciate the things that I do choose to do out of my free time. And I would love to hear your thoughts, your own situation that you're going through right now. If you could comment it below, it really helps me and a lot of other viewers just see that there's so many people struggling at this time too. So as of Friday, 2 days after the announcement, that's where I'm leaning towards. I will keep you updated. You know, at the end of the day, I really hope I can go back in the spring if everything is safe, if everything goes well, because one thing I'm kind of worried about too is how the student body is going to react to this during the fall. I'll keep you guys updated tomorrow or whenever I hear back from Cornell. International students, I'm so sorry. Today got a whole lot better with the news that the ICE, which is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office, announced that international students who are pursuing degrees in the United States will have to leave the country or risk deportation if their universities switch to online-only courses. In other words, all international students are going to get kicked out if their university is doing online classes. Like, it's not a valid reason to stay in the States if there's no in-person component, which really sucks. I have friends who are stuck in the States right now and are gonna have to leave the States, even though the States was a safe haven for them, even though the States was the better option. It was more stable, it was, you know, more peaceful in their home countries, and now they're getting booed out. I really appreciate everyone, by the way, who messaged me this article when it first came out. I think at a time when it feels like a lot of international students are not welcome, it's always so reassuring to hear from my American friends, to hear from American viewers, and just people who are so supportive and so encouraging at this time when sometimes the other side of me is just like, okay America, like okay government, I don't even know why I expected anything from this country. You know, obviously aside from like the education, the opportunities and all of that, you know, like it kind of ends there. And I don't know, it just sucks to think because a lot of people do look at America as like this dream, this land of opportunities, but at the end of the day, we are dispensable. As you can tell, I took like a 4-day break from filming, and during that time, I got to think a lot about, well, nothing. Actually, I thought about nothing. So I think instead of trying to keep up with all the news and all the updates, I was just like, I am not going to sit at the edge of my seat, wake up every morning rushing to see if there's any more bad news. I'm just gonna let all of it happen. I'm just gonna collect this information in my head, but I'm not gonna do anything with it until it is time to make the decision, because it's really not worth it trying to make all these new plans every single day based on the small developments we have. It just makes me so restless. And I'm just gonna wait until this Thursday when my school, Cornell, does their international students town hall, and I get more information about what's gonna happen for us. Like, are we gonna get reduced tuition since it's online? What's gonna happen to my I-20, which is a form I need for my F1 student visa? I believe like if I don't renew it soon, it's gonna expire. Ideally, I would have gotten this re-signed before I left Cornell, but because it happened so fast, I couldn't. And so I just requested another copy online that they would deliver here, and I have not received that yet. It's been over 2 months, so that's another thing that's kind of in the back of my head. Aside from all that, I just wanted to share some updates with my decision, or where I'm leaning at this point in time for what is gonna happen in the fall semester. So I updated you guys that I wasn't considering dropping out anymore. I also wasn't ever really like wanting to consider dropping out. I was more like, if it comes to it, that my only option is to drop out, because let's say I took a leave of absence or I took a gap semester and Cornell would not be able to like accommodate me because of an overcapacity or whatever, then I may have to drop out. I just want to show you guys, and also thank you for everyone who is really encouraging and helped remind me in the video I did that an education is still worth so much, and I shouldn't let this 1 year stop me, especially if I do have the opportunity to do that, and I will always be grateful that I have this opportunity to pursue an education. So this is a new thing I haven't talked about yet, but that's extracurriculars. So in my previous video, I talked about one reason I was like really open to considering taking a year off if it came to it is because I wanted to continue all the projects I currently am working on, and I was thinking I could take that like 1 year gap year to, you know, just pursue all of this like nonprofit stuff, in particular the IB Leave website that my friend Imogen and I are working on to help current IB students through tutoring, mentoring, and just resources plus advice from graduates that we have all over the world, which thank you guys so much for the support for. Like, we're so overwhelmed. And that was something that I want to be able to continue for the rest of the year and not pause during the school year, because that is literally when I think IB students need the support the most. I think what I'll end up doing is taking a step back from all, if not most, of the extracurriculars I'm part of at Cornell, and I'm involved in quite a lot. A lot of these clubs also have leave of absences that you can take, so I think I'll be fine. Also, I'm not a big fan of doing it online. I don't think you gain as much, because my life at Cornell, or like my social life, revolved around the clubs I was part of, and I'm not even gonna be at Cornell, so it's not the same. Another thing I was thinking about for why I just strangely have a lot of peace and calm in thinking of staying in the Philippines for this semester is that it is a fresh change of pace. In my Cornell vlogs, if you've watched, you'll know that things go by so quickly at Cornell in college, you know, especially when you're trying to do everything. You want to do well in school, you want the friends, you want to be healthy, you want to be able to sleep, and so time just goes by like a blur. And I think there's so much that happened in these past 2 years at Cornell. Living in America for the first time, experiencing this whole journey as an international student, I've learned so much. I've tried so many new things. I've been keeping a notepad of all of these like lessons I've been learning, things I wish I knew before I came to college. And I don't want to be focusing on all of the bad that happens anymore. Like, if anything, I want to take all this gratitude that I have for my family who has been caring for me, and my friends who've been reaching out, all of you guys who have been so encouraging throughout the process, and also all the resources that exist nowadays to just help people with emotional health, to like make games, you know, Animal Crossing, that's something to be grateful for. I just got back into it. By the way, did anyone else play Animal Crossing on a DS Lite before? Because yeah, you're the real OG. But in summary, before I end this video, I just think the memories that I have from freshman and sophomore year right now are so fresh in my head. I feel like I've changed so much emotionally, and I know this because I visited my high school, I think a few months ago. My teachers were like, you are a different person, like you are like a lady now. Okay, that's kind of interesting hearing it from your teacher, but yeah, that kind of hit me, and I didn't really realize it. I also listened to another podcast today, and it was about how we just have hurry culture. Like, we pay so that we can finish things faster. We work with people who get things done faster. Like, everything, we just want it faster. The image I get is just like us on a hamster wheel, where we think we'll escape it by running even faster, but honestly, it just tires out our heart more. I'm feeling a lot better about this decision to just stay home and to continue classes this way. Again, I do think though that this isn't for everybody, and college is such a great place to do that. It's a safe haven, it's a new adventure. It really is a bubble. Like, you can make it your story because it's a place to break routine and to fill your cup. I just think my cup is overflowing, and I just want to be able to drink it all in, to absorb it, and not just let all the experiences I had just pass by because I'm just hurrying along in this life, you know. I think quarantine has helped me appreciate a lot of things, and I want to continue doing that. I hope this video helped you process some things, because I know universities are posting their announcements at different times, and I think my school responded pretty fast, so hopefully by the time you see this, you may be going through or facing a struggle that I just went through. I will keep you guys updated. I'm going to take the rest of this week to read and reply to all your comments. By the time you're watching this, I may have already replied to you. This week is really just for me to rest. It's been really good. So thank you guys for watching. I wish you the best. I hope your families continue to be safe. I hope that you're in a good space, or that you at least have friends, family, and community around you to remind you that things will be okay. And if you don't have that, I am telling you right now that it will be okay as long as you hang in there, you find the support, and this moment, this struggle, this trial that you're facing is probably just shaping you to become who you're meant to be in the future. Bye guys, love you so much.